Honda with $2 says, Karl said it was your fault the cops busted Nick. You know what? I've forgiven Karl because I realized something about Karl. Karl's friend is Dick Masterson, and Dick Masterson has been sweeping for Nick to an embarrassing amount. I mean, some of the things these people have to say to defend Nick is some of the most trite third grade, I'm mad at teacher, anti-authority bullshit I've ever seen. And you don't get mad at them. You just go, oh, that's embarrassing. I understand you have to do that because they're your friend. I don't know, man. I've had friends who are, I've had one friend who's an alcoholic, and I never swept for him. You know, I was always like, dude, so-and-so needs to get help. Like, so-and-so's got a serious problem. Like, because I never felt you did your friend any favors by making excuses for them or guarding them.
Right.
If anything, you're an enabler at that point. But
well, you did sweep for me a couple of times, and I'm a horrible pothead, but that's just because I can't use a broom.
No, I say you're a horrible pothead.
All right, so we're good.
Yeah, we're fine. I just don't encourage you to do anything about it because Lord knows you could use something, you know? But Karl's good friends with Dick Masterson, so Karl has to be on Nick's side. I don't blame Karl for that. Karl, you know, although, you know, at one point Karl liked me, so who knows? Maybe that snake turns around. Maybe we've got like a scorpion and a frog situation. But my fault the cops busted Nick. I'll tell you whose fault it was that the cops busted Nick. And here's a flaw in Karl's logic. It's Nick's fault that the cops busted Nick. It's always your fault when the cops bust you. You went outside your marriage. Now, we both did, but only one of us admits it. You went outside your marriage. You were remarkably immoral. You brought your wife's boyfriend and your side piece to church with you. You basically insulted God to his face. You showed up places all fucked up out of your mind and people noticed it. You lost 40 pounds in a year. You look like shit. I mean, you gave everybody... And then you did a stream where you gave everybody the opportunity to look at you and go, oh my God, he's a fucking disaster. There's fucked up on stream. There's drunk on stream, whatever. And then there's whatever the fuck that was. And you come down, you got white powder on your nose. You're all fucked up and you're doing that stream. And then after all that happens, I go on and go, this motherfucker needs help. They got drugs, blah, 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 blah. Here's what I saw when I was there. Here's what I did when I was there. Here's the fucked up shit that I was a part of.
So you totally didn't help, but I don't think it would have. You might have sped things up. Look, at most.
They had more than enough before I opened my free app. They had more than enough. And when I was talking about it, did I think anything would happen with the police? No, of course not. But I didn't realize how much the community knew about all four of us. I didn't know how much the community knew about how fucking shitty Nick looked. And I didn't know how much the cops knew about how shitty April looked. Remember in the search warrant affidavit, they talked about our episodes where April appeared strung out and high on cocaine. And I just recently was able to start watching those episodes and, oh boy, I would watch them and I would remember the fights we had after, where I was like, you need to stop doing this shit. And then her response was, you're a monster. You're a terrible person. You're a bad husband, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, well, looks like we may be at an impasse here. It's looks like we may be. Well, I didn't know that behind my back, Nick was telling her all these copes about cocaine and why it was fine. And he just wanted a drug buddy.
Yeah.
Like, because I know Kayla felt guilty about how much they were doing, and I know she would raise questions about it. And so he probably didn't like that. Then he has me in his ear like, dude, my wife's doing blow every day with you. I don't like that she's doing coke every day. Oh, no, you have to understand it's okay because of blah, blah, blah. So he would tell me that stuff, and I'd go, well, that's a bunch of horse shit. But he would tell her that stuff, and she's like, oh, yeah, really? Okay. Like, April's a very insecure person, and if someone tells her what she's doing is okay, she won't question it. She'll just go with it. And so he would, like, she didn't want to stop doing it. Here I am bugging her about not doing it. And here's somebody else, while he's telling me, oh, yeah, no, absolutely. But then meanwhile, going back to her and going, isn't he fucking annoying? Oh, by the way, this is totally fine. You can go ahead and do it. Like I said, just kind of scumbaggy David Koresh kind of vibes.
Yeah.
With that whole thing. But like I said, Thursday's going to be very interesting with Keanu. So as far as Red Honda, Karl saying the cops busted Nick was all my fault. Yeah, Karl's a Dick Masterson guy, and Dick's a sweeper. So Karl's got to do his sweeping.